Hey, and welcome back to Parrot Gaming Production, where my name is Jared, and this week we have a brand new kind of fun episode where I wanted to go ahead and break things down and kind of give you a little bit of a heads up in my journey thus far. So, what I wanted to talk about first is I made a few errors, I made a few adjustments, and I did what I call ethical cheating. Now, I know you kind of look at yourself and you're like, what is ethical cheating? Well, I'll explain that in a bit. So, I got the idea to play as a strong, charismatic idiot. Essentially, is what it was. So I thought I'd invest. I'd get a 10 in strength, 10 in charisma, and then I threw the rest in luck. Mistake number one. And I'm sure you're gonna notice here as well that the charisma, the charisma gif or the icon for charisma is a little bit different. I'm playing with like 40 different cheats or 40 different mods on right now, from UI adjustments to ballistics adjustments to making the game just a little bit harder. But I wanted to call myself either or because Codsworth will say that. Well, Codsworth won't say Skywalker, so I decided to go with Xena Skywalker, Xena Warrior Princess, because my strength is 10 and my charisma is 10, my intelligence is 1. Well, I realized early on that I wanted to play, like I said, a strong, charismatic, a strong woman. And then I found a mod that allows me to have a lightsaber. I was like, dope, I'll play as a Jedi. So I decided that I was going to limit myself to just melee weapons, except for blasters, and blasters are an every so often kind of thing, because Leia in the Star Wars universe she can use the Force. It's been proven that she can use the Force, and it is canon because it's in the movie. So I figured I can use a blaster, but I'm going to use the lightsaber for the vast majority of the time. Well, there's 3 ways to get a blaster. You can take one from Virgil's place, which you can see I'm actually doing here. You can find one in the wild, or you can craft one. Well, they didn't realize that to craft one, you needed to have science, because I was a dumbass and I didn't really look anything, and I wasn't going to just spend time using my fists in the wild using a baton. So what I ended up doing was I constant commanded to Virgil's place, stole it, and then I did what I needed to do. And what you're about to witness here is I'm going to go on a run where I don't fail charisma checks. I have yet to fail a charisma check, and I'm like 7-8 hours into the game. I did a bunch of side quests to rank up. Paul of Mitten Squad does a lot of these building hacks where he just builds a bunch of posts, gets a bunch of experience right away, and levels up real quick. I took a different approach. I wanted to actually play the game and kind of get a little bit better and just do a bunch of side quests that I haven't done in a while to gain some experience. So what I realized real quick, real fast, is that I need science to rank up, or I need science, which is I need intelligence, which allows me to unlock those science perks. Science perk is what allows me to make upgrades to my lightsaber. Yes, the lightsaber is very overpowered, but where I'm at in the game right now, because at the time of recording this, I have just killed the Courser, and I actually killed the the railroad. It's funny because Virgil's like, "How did you decode the chip?" And I was like, "Yeah, the railroad helped me." He's like, "Oh, there's no text." I'm like, "They're dead, Virgil. Don't worry." So what I ended up doing is I ended up doing an ethical wipe, where I took, instead of restarting the game, I did, like I said, an ethical wipe where I took away all my perk points, I took away all the perks that I had, and instead of the intelligence or the luck at, I think it was 4 or 5, what I ended up doing was I took all those points away, and like I said, I redistributed everything to like it was a restart of the game without actually restarting 6 hours into the game. Because I thought, because I don't know if anybody's played Fallout, it gets really annoying having to restart and restart and restart when an idea doesn't work. So I've technically used some cheats, but like I said, I'm ethically cheating at this point in time, just simply because of the fact that if I'm gonna do this, like I said, I'm gonna do it correctly, because you can't just like with some of what Paul does, in his runs, like. It's like, oh, can you beat it with only legendaries? Well, there's a couple places that you can find legendaries right off the bat and get them without actually having to, I think there was like a Big John wrench where you can literally just do a speed run, grab the wrench, and kill everything. Well, you can't really speed run to get a lightsaber, so I did the next best thing. And so I wanted to just kind of jump jump off the game with that kind of explanation of why you're seeing what you're seeing, as well as kind of give an idea as to why from the get-go the idea of the game was pretty simple, and then it evolved into something that needed a little bit more substance. And I don't really want to say that you can beat the game as a strong, charismatic Jedi, but at the same time, I don't have like I can't use the Force, you know. And if I had like a Force push or something like that, I could definitely beat the game with it. But there is no Force push in the game, so I you know, the way that you can play the game versus kind of what you want to do at the same point in time, especially with all these mods, I feel that it starts off as a no, but it evolved into a yes. Also, by the way, this is one of the few times I've actually been able to convince Mayor McDonough. I swear that is the hardest skill check I have ever had to do. And, you know, so what I ended up doing was, like I said, I'm doing things a little bit differently. I've never really played a melee person. I've never really played the style that I'm playing right now, so I'm trying a couple different things. And one of the cool ideas that I thought is like, well, what if I could get Codsworth to meet Sean, you know, adult Sean? And I'm sorry if this spoils the game for anybody, but Fallout's been out for frickin' ever, so I'm sorry I'm spoiling a game that's been out for almost a decade now. But so I thought it would be really cool to take Codsworth to go see Sean and to side. So I'm going to side with the Institute this run because I hate doing things the same way over and over and over again. You know, usually I'll side with the Railroad because it's the quickest route, or I'll side with the Minutemen because it's not that quick. But so at this point in time, I'm starting to realize combat is going to be difficult. The further I go along, I'm going to need more stim packs, I'm going to need more purified water, because that's what I found to be the easiest way to keep myself alive, because my style of combat that I've been playing through most recently here is charge and destroy. And it works to an extent. It works to an extent, but you'll see here in a little bit that I don't always fare the best by charging and doing everything, because like as you can see here, I'm having some problems fighting off these gunners, and I'm just constantly dying. So that was one of the few hard parts there. I did find a new and better blaster where I poison people, and so I'm excited to see where it takes me. You know, I've kind of altered my combat. Instead of the, you know, take some Psycho Jet and just kill everything, I was able to save one of the gunners here by taking some Psycho Jet and running into the Courser, kill him. I freed the synth that was trying to escape in there as well too. And at this point in time, I'm going to go talk to Virgil and let him know that the Railroad helped me after I destroyed the Railroad. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into part 2 here in a minute. Like I said, I'm only 7-8 hours in the game. As it stands at the point in time of recording this, I just kind of wanted to put out part 1, because I think I'm going to put out part 2 in the next couple of days. So stick around for part dos. Like I said, things have been fun, things have been interesting, and we'll kind of jump back into it. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next episode.